Good morning. It's November 2nd. Chase and I are back down at the River Bottom Farm, and it is a cold, crisp, high-pressure day. It's about 23 degrees this morning when we're walking in, and there's little to no wind. Seemed like we got in here pretty good. We're at the head of the slough, and we're right at the neck of the peninsula, so I can see across to the river on both sides, about 200 yards. And all the deer just slowly come back in here to bed. We've had real steady action for the last hour and a half. We've had a bunch of does coming back in the bed. We saw that older 6x5 that we saw yesterday afternoon off in the distance. I don't think we got any footage of him. A really nice young 10-pointer that's 2 or 3 years old. Looks like he's related to the crab claw 10. He's got little crab claws. Young bucks chasing. We've had deer bedded under us, so it's been a lot of activity. I think it's just going to keep up for the rest of the day. At least I hope it does. Yesterday we had such a great day. Primarily after Marino and Dak on this farm. Good news yesterday, I checked cameras midday and we got Marino back on cam on the 28th, so he went about 26 days without being on camera. We had him the 28th and the 29th on the edge of the farm, so I'm hoping that, you know, he knows there's a lot of does in here, and he'll move back in here to rut these next couple weeks. Dak has also been a little more spotty this last week. He's on a few of the cameras in the middle of the night, just not super active in here, so we'll see. This is still a really good spot. It's just a lot of bucks come to cruise at this bedding area, and we can see well, so we're going to sit in as long as we can and hopefully get one of those deer in front of us. It's about 11 o'clock. We're going to start packing up to make the move for the afternoon. The last 2 hours have been slower than the first few. We had a couple cruising bucks come by and saw a couple chases off in the distance. So hopefully the good activity will continue. We've made the switch for the afternoon hunt, and we've moved onto my new parcel that's adjacent to Jared and I's piece. Jared came down this afternoon. He's in after Marino. Fingers crossed he at least has an encounter with him. It'd be even better if he could put an arrow in him. As I mentioned this morning, he was on trail camera on the 28th and 29th, so he's been in the area. I've moved, I'm probably 375 yards. I tried to measure earlier on my map from where I was this morning. And I'm hunting on the edge of this big open WRP field. And so we'll see if they work their way back out and who's with them. We should be able to see some cruising right here. We can see a lot of country. That's probably the coolest part about this spot, is we can see so much. And we're on the edge of what I would call the central thicket on this new piece. It's a bunch of this canary wetland grass, and it's a lot like our peninsula. There's a lot of bedding in it. As the evening fades, we should get deer moving out of the thicket towards the corn, and hopefully we'll get some bucks cruising back and forth between the bedding areas. I did have Dak on 3 cameras on this end of this parcel, so he certainly seems to be coming more out of the peninsula this direction than to the north, like in Marino's direction. So there's certainly a chance he could show up right here, and he'll be my primary target this afternoon. down to our last few minutes, and we had another good hunt. It started off pretty slow, but then, you know, the bucks started getting up and moving in this bedding area. It was a lot warmer this afternoon, so not too surprising the movement was late. We had that double beam 4-year-old. I think that's our 5th encounter with him, and he came into 60 yards. A couple younger 10s and 8. There's another 5-year-old that we saw off in the distance. I think we got a little bit of footage of him. His antlers are really, really white, and we know him from last year. His G2s and G3s are kind of close together. We never did name him, but saw another nice 10 with him that I thought was the black-eyed 10, but it was hard to tell. And just now we saw the 6x5 again. That's 3 hunts in a row, the bigger 6x5. But they're off in the distance with just basically their heads moving through the grass, so it's really hard to get good footage of them. But I thought we'd see quite a few deer from this spot just because we can see so far. All in all, it was a really fun sit. And we'll be back out tomorrow. Tomorrow's I'm off of work tomorrow, so I get to hunt all day, and I got to go back to work Wednesday and Thursday, so we'll put a lot of hours in tomorrow.